It's the Shatkin First Down Pregame Show, presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin and the Aesthetic Associate Center, with your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin, and our special guest, Buffalo Bills alum, Brian Moorman. Now, from the Shatkin Sports Network studios in Amherst, here are your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Jared Shatkin.
Welcome to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Rich Gaenzler, Dr. Jared Shatkin. Lots to talk about. Of course, the good news, the Bills beat the Chiefs, and the bad news, well, the two of us predicted incorrectly, but we're happy about it in the end. And it was a great win all the way around. And look, I mean, 2 games in a row, back-to-back, where complementary phases football, if you will, right? All 3 phases played well. Obviously, sans the doink at the end by Prater, but all 3 phases played really, really well. Good complementary football in back-to-back games. Now, of course, you need to make it 3 in a row, but talk a little bit about your impression of that game.
Well, I thought the Bills played well, like you said, on all 3 phases. I think where it really starts, though, is how much the defense dominated. The fact that they were able to get such a consistent pass rush on Patrick Mahomes, and the fact that guys like Cole Bishop were stepping up and playing the game of their career, and Maxwell Harrison goes in there and he starts to ball out and play the way a first-round pick's supposed to look. And you're starting to see the idea that Brandon Beane had for this defense come together. Unfortunately, it comes with a guy who has been absolutely amazing the last 2 weeks, Michael Hoyt, tearing his Achilles, so now he's out for the season. So we have to have guys step up in the future, but throughout this game, they had a really good plan on defense, and then they also had a great plan on offense.
Yeah, and you can say what you want. I mean, there's going to be naysayers out there and say, well, Josh Simmons wasn't there, and they were down a tackle at a time, and they were down a guard at a time on their offensive line. But, I mean, that doesn't excuse the Chiefs from letting Patrick Mahomes be hit 15 times in that game. That's the most he's ever been hit in a game ever. As the Chiefs quarterback. Remarkable. Less than 50% complete. I mean, these are things Patrick Mahomes does not do. Why? Because the Bills' defense was prepared, and it seems after the last 2 games, think about it. Now you go 2 weeks back, they completely shut down arguably the best run game in the league with Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard. And I know McDermott's not saying anything, but you got to think he's been a bigger part of that defense since the bye week.
Absolutely. I think the defense has been blitzing more aggressively. I think they've been kind of confusing the offense a little bit more. But I think if you have excuses about Josh Simmons being out, it doesn't excuse the fact that we were getting such good pressure right up the middle. And that's where Patrick Mahomes feels the pressure, and that's when he makes mistakes. So we were getting pressure up the middle, and then having that sticky man coverage on defense, you know, it was a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you mentioned Max Harrison, who looked flawless. I mean, he covered Worthy like a blanket in that game, was fantastic in the limited role he played, and Cole Bishop was out of his mind.
He played like an all-pro this weekend. He really did. And I think Jordan Porter being out there gives him some sort of comfort. I think maybe when Taylor Rapp was out there, maybe he was trying to overextend himself a little. Now he's playing with some sort of freedom where he can go there and make the big plays, and he can go there and cut off a pass, and he doesn't have to worry about what's going on behind him. Because I think at the end of the day, a Sean McDermott defense is most successful when everyone is bought in and everyone understands exactly what they're doing. I think that's what Cole Bishop's doing right now.
And we've been talking about it a lot. I think we talked about it either last week or going into the bye, that this team was missing a couple things, but one of them in particular was physicality, right? The last 2 games, they have played absolutely high-energy football, start to finish on the defensive side of the football, and it is shown and it has paid dividends.
Yeah, and by the way, Josh Allen had a flawless game as well.
For sure, and we'll get to the offense in a second.
I think exactly. I think they're becoming more physical. I think we said it right before that Panthers game, and Thurman talked about it. He said we just have to play more physical, right? And I think that this game, again, this game and the Panthers game against teams that are turning out to be 2 pretty good teams, shows you how this Bills defense can be, how that defensive line can set the tone, how the linebackers can make plays when the defensive line is doing it, and it's just all 11 guys getting to the ball and doing their job.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Epinesa, Russo, Bosa was great. I mean, the D-line looked really, really good. You didn't have to even talk about the linebackers at all, which was great, and the defensive backs were fantastic. You imagine Josh, 23 of 26 in that game, fantastic. 10 different receivers. Cook over 100 again, and then, of course, Kincaid over 100. The thing with Kincaid, and I know we've been talking a little bit about this off camera, he has to stay healthy.
Well, and that's what the offense is definitely missing. It's missing a guy that you can rely on first and second down to to get you 10 yards. And on that third down, it's a guy that Josh is really comfortable throwing to. So I know they're only playing him about 30% of the snaps right now. I think that's going to start to increase in the future, but you want to be careful with that because you want Kincaid to be healthy going into the postseason on that run because he's turning into be a real weapon. He's super decisive in his route running. He's very athletic, and he's doing things that we thought he might be able to do coming out of Utah.
I thought there were a couple of plays when Josh probably took sacks that, in my opinion, weren't great, but generally stayed in the pocket, which is something we haven't seen a lot from Josh against a really good front seven for the Chiefs.
Yeah, and he didn't get those happy feet like he had been getting the past couple of weeks. And I think the plays that you can think of a couple plays where he did that. I think the first touchdown to Kincaid is maybe a play last week where he sees the rush coming, gets out of there, and throws the ball away. And then, maybe that other play to Kincaid where he's cutting across the middle for 46 yards, that's another play where Josh is just kind of trusting his eyes and keeping his feet under him. And I think once he gets more confidence in this receiving group, you're going to see that more and more in the future.
Yeah, big elephant in the room is the fact that the Bills didn't make a trade deadline day move, and we'll talk a little bit about that later in the show. But up next, a special Bills guest, the Mafia, and a whole lot more. We'll break down the Bills and Dolphins, don't worry, as we continue on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin here with Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas.
My family and I have been coming to Dr. Shatkin's dental office for years. The office is beautiful and the staff is outstanding.
Thanks, Thurman. It's been an honor for me to take care of you and your family.
For a Hall of Fame smile, go where the pros go. Dr. Todd Shatkin at the Aesthetic Associates Center.
Call today for a free consultation, 839-1700.
All right, here we go. It's our annual visit with one of the all-time 50 great Bills. You actually went through a table for the first time at the Bills Chiefs tailgate.
That was the first and maybe potentially the last, unless we play the Chiefs again in the playoffs at home, because then it's like, well, I better do it again.
Right.
But yeah, I was not going to lie that I was a bit nervous, didn't know what to expect, but I was inducted into the Mafia for sure this weekend, and I did not expect to do that. But they're like, "Hey, we have a table for you," and I'm like, "Not a chance." But it was a lot of fun.
The AFC's weird this year, man. Here's the Colts with Daniel Jones, who looks like they're cruising along, and then the Steelers beat them. Here's obviously the Bengals in their situation with no Burrow. They're really out of it at this point. The Ravens, who knows what they're going to be. They're really healthy now, and Lamar's back. And then you look at Kansas City now with 4 losses. You go over in the West, and there's the Chargers and the Broncos, and it's just, man, it's crazy. And, of course, the Bills are still what they are. And then New England having the season they're having. So the question is, you know, especially with New England, now they will, their schedule is still not really terribly difficult going forward, but they will face some tougher challenges as the season advances. So it'll be interesting to see what they do going forward. But like the Chargers, I look at the Chargers like, how are they have no run game, right? They have like one receiver in McConkey, and there's a Gadsden kid that comes out of nowhere from Syracuse and is lighting it up. Denver has been remarkable late in games to win. You wonder if that's ever going to run out. So I'm like, my head's spinning. I don't know about yours.
Well, there's a ton of parity, and I think that's what makes the NFL so great. Certainly we want to be the team at the end, standing, and while everyone else, when the music stops, we're there, that's what we want. But, we got to take care of business the rest of this time. And so do those other teams. But you're right. I mean, New England they certainly, we're back to, Patriots and Bills, it's like, we got to take care of business when we play them again. But obviously we got to do the things we got to do before we play them again. But it's a strange AFC this year, and it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the season, and then hopefully getting into the playoffs and getting some home games again.
All right, so I'm gonna put your analyst hat on. Give me a score for the Bills and Dolphins. I mean, we're predicting a massive blowout on this side. I don't know what you think, but shoot me a score. What do you think it's going to happen?
Oh, like 38-14, something like that. I mean, we're going to win. Yeah.
I think
we're going to win. I mean, we got it. Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Fantastic.
And we didn't talk before this.
No,
either,
we did
so
not.
Yeah.
We did not.
Yeah. So we're a field goal apart. And, I just, I think that, like any time, you're going to be a little close from the start, and then it's just we're going to pull away. I mean, I just don't think they can hang with us. But as long as we take care of business, we do our thing and don't look past them, and then we'll end up pulling away and winning 38-14.
How do you keep from letting down and going into that game flat?
I think you rely on your leaders. I mean, obviously, I think Josh leads that team very, very well, as do many others, and they've just got to avoid that trap, of getting caught up and thinking, okay, we got this, and looking forward to the next. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's still Miami week. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, you always look at that, and it's like and it's a big game for. It's always a big game because it's the next game, and they can certainly show up and play well, and they're still a good football team. They haven't had a very good year, and I have no doubt that the coaches will have them ready, and that the players will be ready themselves. And it's just like I said, anytime you're playing a division game, it's big, and they'll certainly take it that way.
Do you have one Highmark Stadium moment that stands out for you personally?
The one thing that always stands out for me, there were so many great moments, when, I was able to throw a touchdown pass, or I was able to run a fake, or, punt one out at the one, or, give that guy that I saw, the first guy I saw wearing my jersey, give him a high five going through the tunnel. That's pretty cool. So many good memories and everything, but nothing really tops when I came back, and it was against the Bengals, and it was my first game back from leaving and coming back after playing for the Cowboys, and running out there just before halftime, and them announcing that I was going to punt the ball, and the fans gave me an ovation, and it just gave me chills. Still does when I think about it. And like I said to people that asked me this weekend, I was like, hey, this was the Mafia through and through. They're like family, and this is a second hometown to me. Buffalo is, and that moment sticks with me, and it will forever. And my wife videoed it, and I still look at that every once in a while, and just to look back and think of those moments, the special ones, and that was it. Yeah,
that is outstanding, absolutely outstanding, and well, you deserved it. You're one of the greats. So thanks again, pal, for doing this, and be well. Keep in touch, okay?
Okay, team, we're down by 6 with only one play left. It's comeback time. Yeah! We need a play. The reverse ribeye, no good. The porterhouse pitch, too risky. The strip steak sweep, that's it. Go Russell!
Touchdown!
Where would you like to have dinner tonight?
Russell's, of course.
Be my guest and let us do the rest.
I was in a car accident. My front tooth cracked. I'm definitely embarrassed to smile. I got mini dental implants. It changed my life because it made me feel like me. Like I can smile and feel like Ashley. I just want to say thank you.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. You can be you again. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
I'm more than happy. I'm ecstatic.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Time to go in the pocket. All right, UFL quarterback Sam Castronova still doesn't know where he's going to play yet, but you have lots of options, right? Tell the folks where you might land.
What I'm told is it's either Columbus, Louisville, or Orlando.
Not bad places.
And Eric Woods, like affiliated with the Louisville team.
Cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. All right. Well, we can't wait for that, and that's slowly creeping up, and you're almost in game shape. Not really, but I'm sure you're working out on a regular basis.
Yes, I am. Thank you very much.
Good.
Thank you for that backhanded compliment.
On the golf course.
No, I'm working in the gym.
Very good.
And then getting some extra time on the golf course.
Okay, got it. And what'd you shoot this week?
I shot 73 at Glen Oak just right before this.
I should be training with you on the golf course.
Yes, I'll get you out there. I'll get you working.
Good. All right. Well, let's talk about obviously Tua. We've been doing this for 5 years, and Dolphins twice a year and Tua or somebody else, and usually it's no one that's really that good, but we know Tua's game. Look, I mean, they still have Achane, they still got Waddle, but this is a very odd team, right? They score a lot, then they don't, and they score a lot, then they don't. They're very unpredictable week in and week out, so obviously they'll be up for it. It's a division game. It's home. You know, what can the Bills expect?
Yeah, I mean, they can expect them to play like they have nothing to lose because I think their season's pretty much over. They're just going to go out and kind of free will it. And like we always say, I mean, if you can take away Tua's first read, then you'll have a pretty good day. So if we game plan well and film study, then I think we should be successful. But yeah, I mean, Achane is still very, very fast, and so is Waddle. So if you can take those two guys out, then you'll have a pretty good chance.
Yeah, agreed. Stay here for the Mafia. Very special, fun guest coming up. Get rid of that ball. Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show, joined by the Mafia. And we got to start with, by far, maybe the Hall of Fame, Mount Rushmore, best dressed meat man in all of Buffalo history. Russell is here. Welcome to the show. Thank you for sponsoring the show.
Nice to meet you.
Great to see you.
Hi, guys.
All right, so look, this is Miami week. Miami week is a big, big deal for you. Tell us why.
Well, I go back years ago. When Buffalo played Miami years ago, when they were in the playoffs, I always had a big party. And it started in a place by the name of Shooters. I had a party booked for about 75 people. And anyways, all the Buffalo fans start going down there. They heard about my party. And Reggie owned the place. And I told Reggie, I says, you know what? You got all these people coming in here. We got to do something. I got no more room. The place was big. If you're familiar with Shooters, anybody that's listening out there, they used to pull up all these big boats, $1 million boats. And I says, then do one thing for me. Zero out the register, serve a bar, give me the tab at the end of 4 or 5 hours. So they did that. Everybody drank for nothing. And I could remember them saying, you know, some idiot bought Shooters. They're giving all the booze away for nothing. And all these big ships, they're carrying cases of champagnes on the boats and everything. And we became very, very close with the Miami people. It brought us close together. So now I decided to do another party this year. But this year, the Buffalo people are so crazy. They come out of the woodwork. The phone has been ringing. I must have close to 2,000 tickets in circulation, and they're going to be crazy. They drink for nothing, and we'll see who ends up in jail and who doesn't.
Well, I'll be there, Russell.
You will.
Yeah.
And I have been there a couple of times in the past, and I can speak to it. It is a Bills Mafia blowout, to say the least. I mean, to use a young person term, that party is lit. So if you're down there in South Florida, make sure you figure out a way, even if you can't get in, be around it somewhere, right?
Yeah, come in, stand in line. And it comes to a time when I just tell the guys that are at the door taking tickets, okay, I want you to just let everybody in.
Yeah.
So if you're down there, you come in, you just ask for Russ, and I'll come outside and bring in some personally. How's that?
I can't wait. All right, so who's going to win, Russ? What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what, after the game Buffalo had Sunday, I think they're going to win again. I think they're off to a good start, you know, and they were great Sunday. And I mean, I drank a half a bottle of vodka when he missed that field goal. That fellow up, you know, that gave me a heart attack.
But they ended up winning. It was all good in the end, right?
Yeah, we were very fortunate to pull it out.
Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for being part of the show and being a sponsor of the show. We can't thank you enough for doing that. And safe travel down to South Florida, my friend.
Okay, thank you very much, and nice to be with you guys.
Stay right there, because we got to get a score prediction. We're going to say hi to Ola, who's back.
Hi.
And she has a relationship with Miami. Why?
Yes, I lived down there, and I was supporting the Dolphins for a lot of years, and I still love them. So they're a great team, and excited to see them play against the Bills. Well, I was at the last game, and the Bills pulled it out. So it was a great time to be there at the game. Unfortunately, I will not be at the Miami game this year, which is really upsetting because those games are so fun, and it's my favorite thing to go to. The tailgates in Miami are amazing. The DJs, the sunshine, it's always so fun.
Okay, now hold on one second, Ola, because I learned earlier that you've been to not one, not two, but 3 Bills games this year.
That's correct, yeah.
And you're telling me that Bills Mafia and the Buffalo tailgate doesn't compare to the Miami tailgate. Now, I get it. Miami's weather's a little bit different.
I
give them a notch for that. But other than that, the party, I don't know if you can beat the party.
The party is really fun. I did see someone break a table in person for the first time, so that was really just something else. I have not seen that down in Miami, so Bills fans definitely go really hard. But, we love the Miami sunshine, so those games are really fun too.
Well, I mean, it's nice to have a northern team and a southern team, right?
Go just back and forth.
Tough when they're both playing each other, right? Because you live now in Buffalo and you lived in Miami, so now you got to pick and choose. And, well, it'll be interesting to see you with a half Buffalo, half Miami jersey.
I think that's what we got to do.
Yeah, I think that's going to have to happen.
Might not go over too well.
Obviously, Sam's here. Jared's here. Great to see you guys as well. Sam, we missed you last week. So let me ask you very quickly before we get into the trivia question and your prediction. What'd you think about no moves on trade deadline day by the Bills? What'd you make of that?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't think anybody's out there really worth what some of these teams were giving up. I mean, unless you could have gotten A.J. Brown somehow. I'm okay with not adding anybody on offense. Maybe try to add somebody like Hoyt on defense because he was a real difference maker those 2 games he played. He was really impressive, and it really sucks losing him for the season. But I kind of figured that much.
Yeah.
It would been nice to make a move, but I figured that probably would happen.
Yeah, and we want to get into more of this, of course, Jared, as we go, because the Dolphin game, there's not a whole lot to talk about. I don't think so. We'll spend a little bit more time on this in the Dolphin segment. Right, right. So for you, I mean, we talked a little bit about this on camera, but, there's probably a lot of reasons why a lot of these things didn't happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the high-end receivers that were looking to get traded were in the AFC East, and it seemed like it's a pretty tough deal to get your best player sent to the Bills, who win the championship of the AFC East every single year. And then also, guys like Rashid Shaheed and Jacoby Myers, they got traded, but are those the guys who are going to come in mid-season and become an incredible difference maker? I'm not sure. I do think that if the problem at the end of the season is the offensive passing game, we are going to look back on the trade deadline and say, okay, maybe we should have made a move there. But what I saw with the defense, I was really impressed with. Even without Michael Hoyt at the end of that game, they were still making some good plays. It's tough to lose a bunch of big guys like that, but I kind of figured they weren't going to do anything after kind of what the rumblings I was hearing last night are, and I'm not in shock, and I'm not really upset they didn't do anything.
I was going to say, somebody call a pharmacy or a doctor, because we have to remedy this injury bug this team's been going through pretty much all season long, right, to really key players. All right, let's get to the trivia question, and then we'll get to the picks. All right, let's start with the trivia question first. Back in 1983, the Bills played in Miami. Dan Marino's rookie year against Joe Ferguson. The crazy thing in that game was that the Dolphins had a touchdown pass from one wide receiver to another. Do you remember who those guys were? They share the same name, Mark. That's our trivia question. One to another.
Oh, gods, I should. I'm the oldest guy here.
It rhymes with super.
Duper.
Duper is one of them. And it rhymes with Slayton. Clayton. Yes, there you go. All right, everybody. The whole team helped on that one. Mark Clayton threw to Mark Duper 48 yards in that game. The game that, the Bills would win 38-35. There you go. So I guess Sorrentino's going to pay up a whole lot more dough because the guys behind the cameras that were part of answering this as well, right? Okay, let's close with your picks for the game. Russell, I need a score prediction. What do you think the Bills by? What do you think the score is?
24 Bills, 7 Miami.
Beautiful. Ola?
I think the Bills are going to get 30 points and Miami maybe 14.
Okay, beautiful. Sam?
Yeah, I'll go 31-13.
All right. Bills Miami picks from the two of us coming up next. Again, Russell, thank you. Safe travel. Ola, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for rooting on the Bills and picking them when you didn't want to. Appreciate that. All right, this has been the Mafia. Back with more of the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show after this.
It's apple picking time. When was the last time you bit into an apple? With affordable Shatkin mini dental implants, you can. Stabilize your dentures and replace missing teeth in as little as one visit. You can be you again, only better. Call the Aesthetic Associate Center today at 716-839-1700 for your free consultation.
It means a lot to be able to work with my dad to continue this legacy that we have going on.
I had many implants. Once I got them, it was like the old me came back.
The changes you can make in such a short period of time in somebody's life, have somebody in the chair crying because they finally have a full set of teeth. And I think the only way to do it in that type of time period for that type of price is really the mini implant.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Out Buffalo pregame show. Rich, Dr. Jared, breaking down the Dolphins. I mean, we talk about the Dolphins every year, all the time, and seemingly in recent history, hasn't been a whole lot to talk about. I mean, they're a dumpster fire. I think we all know. I don't know if did you see the meme on X this week where they did player introductions, and what was coming out of the tunnel, literally, I'm not kidding you, were dumpsters on fire, like wheeling out. It was an AI-created video, obviously, but I mean, that's kind of what they are. They fired their GM this week. They trade away Phillips to the Eagles. It's a big loss, especially with Chop Robinson hurt and still questionable for this game. You know, they got Achane, they got Waddle, they got Tua. Tua's thrown 11 picks already this year, right? I mean, they're troublesome at best, you know, for the Bills. But I mean, I don't think the Bills have a whole lot to worry about. What do you think?
Well, no, because Tua actually right now is on the hot seat and the guy behind him is Quinn Ewers, who was on the hot seat in college last year. So, no, I don't think there's much to worry about with the Dolphins. Of course, you got to watch out for guys like Waddle, and you got to watch out for Achane, of course. But after you take those two guys away, look at the rest of the team. There really are a dumpster fire, unfortunately, for them, but fortunately for us. So, yeah, not too much.
I get nervous about them too, though, because they do have games where out of nowhere, and the league's been this way this year, right?
Yeah.
Where like you have a game where you think you know exactly what's going to happen as a fan, and it's completely opposite. We've seen that happen a lot this year in the NFL. Obviously, we don't want to see that happen on Sunday. I don't think it's going to happen on Sunday, but again, it is every given Sunday in the NFL, and this is a divisional game in Miami.
Yeah, it's not like the Dolphins aren't going to wake up for this game. I think they're going to be out there, you know, playing their best football in the beginning of the game, but I think throughout the game, there's going to be some sort of moral defeat in the Dolphins, and you're going to start to see the Bills completely dominating it. I really think this is going to be the type of game where we dominate something like the Panthers game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is you can't take the foot off the gas, explosive, physical attitude, right? They are the garbage, and we are going to dispose of them, right? I mean, that's kind of what it's got to be for the Bills going into this game. So what is your pick?
My pick is another 40-point game for the Bills. I like 41-14.
Wow. All right. I'm close. I'm going to go 38-17 Bills. I think this is a blowout victory. You do too. And obviously the Mafia segment, we found out that they thought the Bills were going to win by a significant margin as well. Thanks to our guests for being on the show. Thank you for watching. Thanks to Dr. Todd Shatkin, Dr. Jared, Aesthetic Associates, as well as Sorrentinos, Russells, and yes, Napoli's as well for partnering up with us and bringing you the show for another week. Go Bills, let's get a divisional win. Really important, obviously, with New England having the year they're having. Big game for the Bills in South Florida. Thanks for watching. This has been the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
In the Pocket is sponsored by Mini Dumpster Rental. Call 716-429-6362. This has been a production of the Shatkin Sports Network.